Have you ever had these?
Grapes?
No, cotton candy grapes. They taste just like them, I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah. I told my sister and my niece, and they were like, no way, fuck you, so now I'm getting them on my way there.
Your niece said fuck you?
Yeah. 4-year-olds are crazy. All right. I can tell you don't believe me, so you're gonna have to try one. I don't want you leaving here thinking I'm a weirdo.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, shit. Wow.
Science.
Yeah. Go with science.
Do you live around here? Because I live on aisle 6. I just come to the fruit section to talk to random, very good-looking people that stand near it. That was terrible.
Was kind of terrible.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Have a good night.
Okay, you too.
The meet cute from 2022's best romantic comedy, Fresh. Martha's back with us today,
I'm here.
Yay, Martha.
having recommended this movie.
I did.
And Pete watched it.
I did, and I've lost all my notes. And so you guys are going to have to remind me of what it is that I watched 2 days ago or yesterday.
You
I'm not
watched
sure.
20 minutes of a romantic comedy,
I did.
an hour of a horror movie, and then 20 minutes of a reverse romantic comedy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Cannibalism.
That's not the only thing. I know why. After, I don't know, 5 minutes of this movie, I figured out why you suggested it, Martha. It's the Winter Soldier.
I know.
It's what Sebastian Stan popping up, and I
Yes.
watched it, and I said, "Where's Captain America?"
I would have 100% fallen for the trap.
Oh, I was just listening to the clip, and you know what? I know what happens, and I'm still kind of like, yeah, I can take a chance on him, I think.
Yes.
He lives in aisle 6. He's funny.
He's harmless.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm a cooler freezer guy, so we don't intermingle with those aisle sixers. Aisle 6 was jerks.
Aisle 6 was jerk. So, Martha, let's hold off on the Fresh talk for a second. We're going to let you lead off with why you picked it, because it was one of our top 10 movies of the year last year, and our award for Best Final Girl, which is the crux of what I want to talk about in the movie, because it's the thing that excited me the most. No offense to Sebastian Stan
It's okay.
being charming,
Yeah.
but we got to get to our regular nonsense. First of all, the correction and apology.
What'd you do?
Well, they're all out of order again, because I'm going to put this up
Apologize for that.
before the other one. Also, The Exorcist Believer comes out on Friday, so it would make sense to cover The Exorcist this week, but Exorcist turns 50 in December, so we're just going to do it in December.
I like it.
It just didn't make any sense to me to do it now, because they can't get their release date correct.
Oh, it
For a
offends
50-year
your sensibilities?
Well, why make a 50-year legacy sequel and then release it 49 years and 10 months later?
Because you can't do the legacy sequel and re-release Exorcist for a 50th anniversary at the same
believe-
Double
weekend.
feature.
I believe Exorcist is in theaters this week. Yeah. So they screwed everything up. Nick Cage update. Wait.
Fuck. Crows.
Nick Cage update. The test screening for his movie Longlegs took place, and they say the movie's getting mixed reviews, but Nicolas Cage is excellent as a serial killer. That should be out in 2024, Pete. One to put down on your list.
The list is huge. He makes a lot of movies. I don't know if you know this.
Every week we discover a movie we didn't know was coming that's just coming October. Last week it was October 20th. There's a movie we'd never heard of just coming out somehow. He just filmed it in the woods.
He just doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I also have a Nicolas Cage update for you.
Uh-oh.
But do you know, during the movie Ghost Rider, who Nicolas Cage's acting coach was?
No.
A pair of king cobras. So if you watch the movie, when Ghost Rider's doing the penance there, he kind of sways back and forth. He learned that from his cobras.
Got it.
How did this
Snakes
guy
in a
ever
basket.
disappear for 20 years?
Oh, he didn't disappear. I was just shamefully ignoring him. The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Crows.
You know what we got to cover for this podcast, Pete? The movie The Crow.
With Brandon Lee?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since the theater, so it's been a minute.
You're as prepared for that as you are for most things. 1994, I saw it at the drive-in.
Nice.
Yeah. It was on a double feature with, I believe, Blown Away, but not the Nicole Eggert Blown Away with Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. The one with Jeff Bridges and Tommy Lee Jones. And Bo Bridges.
Nice.
Brothers back in action.
Yep. No, they were... No, oh, no, you're right. It wasn't Bo Bridges. It was... what was their father's name?
Jeff. George.
Yes, George Bridges.
Martha.
I don't know.
Why did you say that
Lloyd.
name?
Lloyd Bridges.
Ooh.
But he didn't play his father in the movie, which is just weird to me because we all know.
Well, not all of us. Let's be fair here.
That's true. All right, Pete, we have our big update here. The Lady of the Dunes update.
There's fresh news on the Lady of the Dunes from like 1970.
There is shockingly fresh news on the Lady of the Dunes case. All right, since we started talking about this on our August 2nd Jaws episode, and then talked about it subsequently on 2 more episodes through August, at the end of August, they found the killer.
They did?
Yes. They had identified the body at late 2022, I guess, and then they figured out it was her husband, who the thing that was keeping them from ever identifying who did it was they didn't know who the body was. So that was the whole Joe Hill thing was he's like, I think it's this woman right here. And then I don't think that turned out to be true at all anyway. No. But they did figure out who the body was. And then her husband had previously been the lead suspect in the disappearance of a previous ex-wife and her stepdaughter.
Shut up, really?
So, yeah, in the 60s. So that sounds right, but it sounds all too convenient, doesn't it? We bring this thing back to the national talking point that it is.
Yes, it was us and not Joe Hill.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about this for years. We bring it up in August, and in August they solve a 49-year-old murder case.
You guys
Sounds
should be
like,
proud.
No, I think this is all too clean. So I started doing some digging.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Is it lizard people again?
No.
It's always lizard people.
Here's my theory. Who benefits from solving this cold case when we start bringing attention to it?
The police?
Joe Hill.
Oh.
Now let me explain why. This all came up because Pete just accused Joe Hill of murder accidentally on the Jaws podcast.
He's the one who's talking about it.
Well, that's what I said. The only name I've heard attached to the Lady of the Dunes case, it's a case where a woman was found with her hands cut off, her head almost severed off.
Yep.
The only person that benefits from it is Joe Hill. Because now with the Lady of the Dunes back in the media, people talk about Joe Hill again. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever talks about Joe Hill.
They should.
Yeah. So this case gets solved right when we start bringing suspicion around who? Joe Hill.
Okay. So he's thrown it off. Is that what you're attempting to claim? This is all he's a patsy, a fall guy?
Here's some facts for you.
Joe Hill?
Here's some facts. The murder happened in 1974. Mm-hmm. Joe Hill was born in 1972. I don't know that I need any more information than this.
Timelines match up.
Seems cut and dry to me. Was she alive before Joe Hill was born?
Yes.
How long did she make it afterwards? You got to ask yourself.
Not very long. Even I can do that math.
Motive's easy. His father is the greatest horror fiction writer of all time.
Right.
And he's a horror fiction writer who can't get out of his shadow.
Right.
He has to change his name.
Also,
he has no
sharks.
identity.
There's sharks all over that beach. It's really obvious it's going to be a shark who bit her hands off and put sticks under there.
Well, let's go back to the obvious point here, though. Who brought up the whole, it could be this extra, one of thousands of people we can't identify because the casting director in Jaws died in 2009. Oh, so Joe Hill knows when in 2012 or whenever, when he starts talking about this thing, he knows nobody will ever confirm who it is, but he wastes a lot of time looking into thousands of people they can't identify.
So he was biding his time from 72 to
He was trying to throw them off the scent.
Good for him. I can't knock this theory. I just listened to a whole week of, the moon isn't real. That's a fact. Or the moon's hollow. Also, the government put it there. And aliens put it there.
And the earth is flat.
I didn't get into the earth. We mostly talked about the moon. So,
well,
those are facts.
You just naturally progress there.
To the flat earth?
Absolutely.
Once you accept that the moon's not real or is real.
There's no other option. You're a flat earther now.
That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You're making my clear case against Joe Hill sound like nonsense by attaching your nonsense to it.
It's all true, man.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I drank the Kool-Aid.
So
it was blue.
Joe Hill's a murderer.
It was Flavor Aid.
Oh, man.
You drank the wrong one.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that except cry.
Yeah.
Tears of blue, because that's what that does to you. That cheap knockoff
Just
Kool-Aid.
ooze it.
You don't see the Kool-Aid man around much anymore, do you?
Only when you least expect him.
Well, that's always true, I guess.
Let's see if we can summon him.
I hope he's okay.
Insert Kool-Aid man noise here.
Oh, no.
That's the exact opposite of what he says.
Yeah, and then he'll pop in and say, oh, yeah.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to that later. I hope he shows up. And I think I just came up with a Halloween costume.
Well, you're wearing a red shirt like the Kool-Aid Man, and
go.
if you were your previous weight, you would look very much like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, once I lost weight, they made me be Jigglypuff one year, the kids.
I don't know what that is.
That was last year, right?
I think it's a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon or something else.
Woman.
Yeah.
Could be. But it's all pink. So I just had my face spray painted pink stuff in my hair, a pink t-shirt, and pink shorts. And I was just a weird... Oh, I also had a what is it? Those little skull cap things that you like pantyhose that you put on your head? No, just to like keep the hair down so they could spray paint the head pink. So I just walked around like a big weird pink guy.
Nice.
That was it. It's a Kool-Aid Man to step up.
I like it.
We've been doing this for about 6 months. I think it's time we start thinking when we start talking, is this interesting for the podcast?
Always.
It's interesting to me. I'm the Kool-Aid Man, yo. I think I know who's knocking down a wall later. It's going to be me.
It's probably Joe Hill because we're onto him.
No, God, don't release this one. I can't. He's got too much money.
Does he?
He's got the king fortune. He's a king.
I looked up what he wrote, and he did write things I'd heard of.
I know.
Yeah.
I haven't read them, but I know.
He did that Nosferatu that he thinks is clever because it's like a license plate that was a TV show too. And it's NOS4A2.
Nose for 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me clear something up. Are we saying he murdered her?
100%.
As a 2-year-old?
Well, not quite 2.
And the earth is flat.
I got to get the timeline correct. He's about 1 year and 10 months old.
Okay, so we have like a Chucky-sized-ish, smaller.
You know, I cannot speak to the size that Joe Hill was at the 18-month mark,
Oh, round
20-month
about.
mark.
Stephen King, if you're listening, please tell us how old Joe was when he was, however old he was when he killed that lady.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, 100% he did. Because
Okay.
he's the only person that brought attention to it, and he did it in a way to distract people from ever identifying who she was.
Right.
And then the very month after 49 years that Pete accidentally accuses Joe Hill, the murder is solved, and it's conveniently someone who died in 2002. Come on.
Not going to lie. I'm
Come
starting
on.
to believe it. He was feeling the heat and he had to get himself out from under because of all the suspicion.
Absolutely.
I'm an investigative reporter now.
He had to move quickly.
And he did.
It's all there. A name,
A place,
a place,
a shark.
a body.
Who, what,
Where?
when and where, and how.
Oh, how I don't know, because he would have been very small.
Shark. I
The
keep telling
toddler
you.
with the chainsaw. A little one.
I actually have eyewitness accounts of a 3-year-old or less running around with a fake chainsaw and knowing how to use it. So
Well, see, there's proof.
opportunity.
All right, I can't knock your theory.
That's right.
It seems solid.
You're not going to suspect the toddler on the beach.
That's what he's always. But somebody must have gotten close. I should look into unsolved murders from around the time he
not for
decided to
nothing.
bring this
we
up.
live in America, and I feel like I keep hearing about toddlers shooting adults with guns. So it's not that far outside the realm of possibility.
Listen, that's a whole other
in
can of
today's
worms.
day and age. Ooh. All right, so we watched Fresh.
Yes.
And I've forgotten everything.
Yeah.
Well, not everything. Sebastian Stan was there.
Sebastian Stan.
Daisy
So
Edgar
charming.
And he plays Steve. At least for-
Slash Brendan.
Exactly. I was never going to remember the second name, and I just froze. I got really cold all of a sudden, like, oh no, I'm dumb. But no
wrote
one
it down.
knows, and I won't tell them. So he plays Steve, the romantic male lead.
Mm-hmm.
And Daisy Edgar Jones plays Noah.
Yes, spelled weird.
Yes. Well,
I never
for a
looked
girl, I guess you probably can't have the age, right?
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, I guess.
Noah Cyrus has an H.
I don't know who that is, and
Miley
I
Cyrus's
don't
little
care
sister.
to.
Okay, there you go. Fun fact.
I think I've seen that name before, and I just flat out assumed it was a brother
Oh, well, okay.
because the H. I only know one Noah.
The guy with the boat?
No, Noah Cyrus.
Oh,
Who's the guy with the boat?
I don't know. I feel like that was a Bible time thing.
No.
The Ark.
Of the Covenant?
Oh, the
Yes.
Covenant. Yes, top men.
Exactly.
Top men.
It's not a boat, though. That's a small boat if it fits in that box.
It can float.
Did it?
Listen, we're not going to get into the science of Indiana Jones and
Science?
the Raiders of the Lost
She
Ark.
blinded me with it.
All right. Can you name the person who sang that song?
No.
She blinded me with science.
Would you believe I just listened to it yesterday?
I
Shut up,
100%
really?
believe
I
that.
was showing my kids. I'm like, you guys want some science? There's songs about it.
It is Thomas Dolby. Because
Yep, wouldn't have gotten there.
this podcast remains the place to go for references you'll never need.
No.
Or want. Or ask for.
All right. So,
What drew you to Fresh? You're the one who recommended it. I know it's Sebastian Stan, and I know he's your guy.
Yes. So obviously, number one, Sebastian Stan is in it. So I went through a period where I was like, I must watch all of his movies because he wasn't like in Marvel anymore. It was over with. Also, the hype around Fresh. I needed to watch it ASAP when I started to hear about it because everybody was like, go in blind, go in blind. You don't need to, no spoilers on this. So I was
That's
like,
what I did.
Yeah, I need to watch this ASAP. And I watched it and I was like, holy shit. I thought it was a lot of fun and it was beautifully shot.
yeah.
The cinematography was fantastic. And yeah, Daisy Edgar Jones just fucking kills it. It was amazing.
I thought the acting was solid.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that throughout the movie. Everyone there was good.
Any other backup thoughts on this? You're just going to jump in where you got
cinematography.
Oh, okay. You're just going to parrot. I don't know why you like crows so much, because you're a parrot.
No, it's the cinematography. When they were driving to the first location, like his house, I guess, instead of, if you look, it's that big wide shot, and you got the cloud. One of the clouds looks like a Star Destroyer from Star Wars.
Oh.
Like, check it out. It really does. I didn't write down the time because it was on Hulu, and Hulu does their timestamps weird. Where
that's annoying.
So I couldn't write that on the Sorry, everybody.
Without knowing anything before you watched it, was there a time in the first 25 minutes you were very worried it was just going to be a romantic comedy?
No, I will say that the first half hour, I was like, oh, this is slow. Like Sebastian Stan, charming, I enjoy, but it was slow. And then the credits started, so I got all excited. I was like, ooh, that's an interesting, it's like a half-hour slog.
I did like how they did the credits. I thought that was interesting.
Well, Pete, they kind of just let you know where the first act ends.
That's what I was going to say. That was my act one.
No,
cheaters.
I have trouble figuring out what acts are.
We have a lot of fun in this podcast, making fun of Pete's understanding of story structure. But there can't be an easier one than this to figure out where these acts break.
Well, there's 2 acts. There's that one, and then the
rest of the movie.
And then the rest of the movie.
Okay.
Good job, Pete.
Thanks.
Yeah. The third act starts when Noah turns the tables by using the same seduction techniques that he uses on her. It's the most brilliant thing I've seen a final girl do in a movie, maybe ever.
It is amazing.
That's what I mean. That's why I gave her that award, because that character does something that I didn't even realize she was doing it when she started doing it.
Yep.
And then when he just falls for it, I'm like, when he realizes he hasn't restrained her, I was like, oh my God, this is the best way I've seen someone handle a situation like this in a horror movie.
Yes, she handled it very smartly.
She seduces him. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It's also a perfect symmetry for the movie, which is why the acts work so easy, Pete.
Yep.
Well, the synopsis then, right? Like, just give me the quick refresher. Sebastian Stan, well, you get, what's her face? Noah?
Yes.
She's on a terrible, terrible blind date. So I guess we get to meet.
A douche.
We get to meet how awful dating is, and then she meets the Winter Soldier himself at a supermarket. Mm-hmm. He kind of picks her up. They start dating. Turns out he is a cannibal / provider of human goods for other cannibals, and she is now trapped with a bunch of other girls who are in various stages of being sold piece by piece.
Yes.
All right, so that was the movie. Then she escapes.
That's you just jumped as she escapes.
Yeah. Well, that was about it.
She
You guys
escaped.
said
That's
it.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
She found out the door was unlocked and walked away.
Yep.
That would have been worse. She wouldn't have won that award for Best Final Girl.
It would have been a faster movie, though, right?
It was 2 hours, people. 2 hours.
So I'm not going to complain about looking at Sebastian Stan that long, even if he's getting his dick bit off.
Yeah.
See, I saw that one coming too. Cause I'm like,
Oh, for sure.
That's like the fear. It's like, what are you doing, you fool? I thought he was smart. He had all these plans and locks and.
Yeah, but he fell for her. That's
Noah
the thing.
was smart too, and she fell for him.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Oh boy.
Exactly.
Okay, I see what we're doing with here.
But that's your.
He really thought she just got up and walked away.
But I'm sorry, that's your wiener. You don't go with anyone and go, hey, person who I'm teaching to eat other people.
Remember how I cut half your butt off? Here's my dick.
Right.
Look at what I've got.
I present this to you.
I kind of
dick in a box.
Yeah.
JT. I assumed it was her whole butt that was lopped off.
Wasn't it just one cheek?
I thought so, but maybe not.
I think it was one cheek. One at a time.
I appreciate, too, that it wasn't over-the-top gory, because I just don't care for that kind of movie. So it was done...
There was not egregious gore.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the body, at least.
No, it was...
That's people in the fridge. That's all people that he's cooking up. I like that she went so far as to eat people. And she's like, that's what made it so... The commitment so good to it was like, I'm going to be part of your world, and I'm going to trap you.
Okay, Ariel.
Yep. Mm-hmm. She did, too. She ate people when she got up there.
She ate the
Don't pretend that we don't all know that Ariel was a cannibal.
She 100% is.
You know she was eating fish, for sure.
That's what
they eat them there.
What do fish eat?
People.
Fish. What do fish people eat? People. Yeah. Right?
Merman?
They eat them, so they eat their own kind.
That's a horror movie.
I think somebody's made of a similar type thing.
One.
I remember seeing the poster for it and thinking, like, that looks terrible. I must see it.
No, have there been other cannibal movies? Like... I don't know.
I know a cannibal movie.
Well, Pete, I know a cannibal movie, too. That's basically the same premise of somebody cooking people up. And it's called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I wonder what your notes say for the movie we're going to do next.
That was about cannibals?
Oh, boy. I can't wait to hear your dissertation on a movie you know nothing about. It was about cannibals.
Okay. Well, that was like an olden time one, though. I just meant more recently. Is it?
Yeah, bones and all.
Okay. Because I was going to say, a lot of times these
Another
movies
romantic
come in
comedy.
hatches.
For some reason, these cannibal movies are all romances.
Well, how else are you going to draw somebody in?
I guess.
That's my argument.
I don't know.
It didn't work for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, maybe I have to look back at
Maybe
Texas.
if he did himself up a little bit more.
Oh, wait, Leatherface did.
His last mask had nice rouge on it.
Yes.
No, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess there's not a love story in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No. I like the side characters a lot in Fresh, and the bartender, her best friend.
Yes.
What was weird to me was at the very beginning, as I'm watching this 20-minute dating movie or half-hour dating, I was sitting there going, I am not on social media. I am not. I'm like, I like this Winter Soldier fella. He picks up people like I would pick up people because I was married before the internet was new in those days. So I've never online dated. I don't know what the world, did you ever do online dating, Martha?
No, I didn't have to.
We're talking about masturbating to porn, right?
Well,
that's online.
You know that Pornhub is the first thing that comes up every time I type P into my phone.
And his name is Pete. And his email starts with a P.
Autocorrect is a bitch.
Nope.
Yeah.
What I enjoyed about her friend the most is that it's set up like every movie you've ever seen where she's going to be the one to realize there's a problem and save the day. And instead she immediately gets captured because this is Noah's movie.
Absolutely.
And I loved it. But that helped distract from what Noah was doing for me because I'm following, she's going to get rescued.
Right.
And that's not what's going to happen. And she's not thinking it's going to happen. She's set this trap. As soon as she's sitting at that dinner table eating that person, she's setting the trap. But I'm not thinking that way because I'm like, well, what's going on with the friend? When's she going to get here?
Yes, because Molly's coming in for the rescue, but no, she doesn't.
No,
Noah
immediately thwarted.
Yes, has to rescue herself. And then Paul comes, and Paul skirts right out of there. He's like, fuck this, I'm gone.
I love that. Because if you get in the middle of the woods with some girl that you hooked up with a while ago and you're just and you start hearing gunshots, I'd probably turn around and leave too.
Time to go.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I was worried though, because he said, I think his last line in the movie was, oh, these damn woods got me all confused. I'm like, oh no.
He's going to get lost.
Right. Oh no. He might still be lost. I watched the credits. It wasn't there. Oh, by the way.
Well, here we go.
Mid-credits.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about the movie.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
The mid-credit scene?
Didn't know there was one.
You know why there is one? Because Sebastian Stan finished up those Marvel movies, and this movie ended, he's like, you know what this needs, guys?
A credit scene.
Like, let's film something. They're like, but you're dead. He's like, it can be a prequel. I'll be back. Like, no. Mm-hmm. So they did their own thing, though, but I firmly blame Sebastian Stan for that.
That's okay, yeah.
So the credits, in the mid-credits?
I didn't like it.
Well, you explain it to
It's
Brad.
just, it shows like top-down shot of 5 people, a couple of them in suits, one guy naked, gross.
Bondage gear.
Yeah, and it's just like a white room, and then there's just bloody meat in the middle of the table, but the way that they're sitting looks like a pentagram.
Yeah.
And I hated that because it was like, Satan, which like so many movies do that. I recently watched the Conjuring universe, and I hated the whole, like, all that fucking satanic panic shit. I can't stand that. And that was the one thing about this movie. If they would have just left that scene out, I loved the movie, but I'm like, can people just be shitty people without having to give them a reason? Like, Satan.
And from my understanding is modern day Satanists are just kind of like, hey man, be nice.
Literally, yes, that's what drives me nuts, is because it's satanic panic. And
from the 70s, 80s.
Yes, and nobody is doing that. Are there cannibals? Yes, 100%. They're not worshiping Satan.
But the Conjuring universe, Ed and Lorraine Warren were nut jobs, religious nut jobs,
right?
With
Well,
all sorts of mental health issues.
Yes, they're shitty people, but they don't convey that in the movies, though. They're like
no,
superheroes,
of course not. Right? But the satanic thing is all part of their fucked up mythos in their own heads.
Absolutely,
or
which annoyed the shit out of me watching those movies. I was like rolling my eyes.
In Fresh, was there I feel like you saw like a little goat head earlier. Sebastian Stan had something, or maybe he put it in one of the boxes, or a plate had a little.
To be honest, I didn't notice.
I think I did. I saw that somewhere, so that like was kind of there. It was just a quick. There were a lot of quick little things in this movie that were really nice, like that horrible first date when they were leaving the restaurant. Her date just shuts the door and it hits her in the face when she's trying to walk out. Like just
because it's a romantic comedy,
right?
This is J-Lo getting her foot stuck at with the dumpster down on her. She's having a bad day.
I have no idea what movie you're
Matthew McConaughey movie.
How to Lose a
Made
Guy
in Manhattan?
Made in Manhattan.
Ooh, never saw that one.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is Kate Hudson.
But Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
You're not a real therapist. That's right. A reference. Oh, man.
Yeah, keeping them fresh
Seen
for
that
the
movie
movie Fresh.
one time, a long time ago, but I've never forgotten how funny that line is.
It is solid stuff. All right, what else have we got?
Oh, no, I want to talk about, like, really what Noah's arc is on it. See what I did there?
As near as I...
Noah's Ark.
Yep, I did it.
In the movie.
I'm waking up. My brain knows what's happening.
I brought it back.
Go ahead, because I clearly just said, hey, look.
That's why we
She left the door open. She walked away.
No, she is seduced. She's going through tough times on dates, as you said. She's going through, am I ever going to find love? It's important to her. It is set up like every romantic, not so much comedy, but every romantic movie, every Nicholas Sparks movie you've ever seen.
Totally.
And she meets the perfect guy, and everything seems up and up with him. The friend immediately is like, he has no Instagram. I'm like, that's funny.
Weird.
That's what made me worried, because I also, if I were trying to date now for some reason, I would be instantly "Thank you, fresh," be labeled as
I'm the
a
exact
cannibal.
opposite.
Yep.
If I found out someone didn't have an Instagram or a Twitter, I'd be like, oh, I found the perfect person who's not obsessed with this horrible internet society.
I think he wants to eat people. Sit farther away and be careful when you leave.
I don't want
Got
to
my
eat
back to the
people. At
stairs.
this point, it's a necessity.
We are in my basement again,
And you locked us in.
which is where I did tie. You know what? As I was tying off my gate to stop this cable company from coming in.
Now,
and-
did you do that of your own volition, or were you seduced into doing it unwittingly?
by the cable? Oh, Brian.
Nah.
Where'd you get the cables?
Where'd I get the cable person's outfit is what I should be asking. Anyway, so in captivity, cut apart as punishment for trying to escape, she realizes that she can't escape by regular means.
But that was going to happen anyway, right?
Maybe, but he really liked her. So I'd say it has to happen, but he's under pressure from people above him you don't really see.
Yeah, I think he was going to do it anyway.
I think so,
Because,
but-
he drugged her in the first place.
I agree.
And she wasn't trying to escape before that, plus his wife.
I agree with all this, but she does seduce him again. So I don't know that I don't think if it was just a cold, this is my business thing, it wasn't.
But it had to have worked once, because his wife clearly was a victim at some point, because she had a prosthetic leg. So it's obviously happened before. Not that no one knows that,
Yeah, that's true.
but he's definitely...
This is like the ultimate, like, using an abuser's tactics against him movie. I've never seen it done more interestingly than this one because of the cannibalism, because of the stakes of it.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not played for laughs. It's played for, like, sheer horror. Because she bites his
100%.
wee-wee off.
Yep. And he deserved it.
He did deserve it.
I still have mine, I think, the last time I checked, but I feel like if it was bitten off, I wouldn't be running. I'd probably just be laying there until I died. That would be the end of me. So,
Yeah, I do think that you might just bleed out at that point.
I don't think you'd bleed out.
I don't know, you had an erection. It's not where the blood goes. Wouldn't it just be pumping
That's
out like a
true.
little fire hose?
I don't think all the blood goes there. I think, like, on a standard 2 to 4 inches goes there, right? That's the number we're looking at.
Okay, now you're just making up sizes.
Yeah,
There's
right.
no way it's that big.
Oh, Sebastian Stan? It's cute.
Oh, it's that
bigger than
soldier
that.
Yeah,
serum.
the Winter Soldier serum.
That's right.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
been shot up with a lot of drugs and steroids. It's got to be.
Well, that's why he was able to run.
Right. Okay, now I got you. All right, continue on with your conversation.
It's part of the MCU. This is what he does.
There's a mid-credit. You think those people sitting around that room eating the flesh with the little,
Hail
the bun?
Hydra.
That was a Hydra situation happening.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes, it's all tied in.
Phase 5 or whatever is going to be really weird for the MCU.
We don't know every mission he was on.
Exactly.
This could have been it. He doesn't know either, so we'll never know. We'll just tie it all together. I'm assuming this was a Winter Soldier mission. Robert
Absolutely.
I
Redford
did.
sent him.
It did happen before I got that sense, though, jumping back to, like, his wife. Because that, I don't know where you guys were, but,
I was at my house watching it.
hey, me too. Martha?
Also at my house.
Ooh, all right. Good times.
We all have Hulu.
Yeah, that's the
doing
only
pre-
place you could be watching it, really.
We're doing pretty good.
All right.
We all got Hulu.
With the wife, I thought that the wife might betray him and jump on. I didn't realize her involvement. Even after she knocked out the friend, I
Yeah.
thought maybe.
No, she full Stockholm Syndrome. She was in it for him.
That turn works too because of the friend, because the friend's on her own mission, and you're not really thinking it. When you discover that he's got a family, it's like, oh, this psychopath, and she doesn't know, and it's like, oh, she knows. It's like, oh, that's
100%,
like
yeah.
100 times worse.
Oh, yeah.
But then it cut to her, like, clearly having problems with her involvement. At least, she was sitting in the mirror, rubbing her. I thought she was going to, when she was in the mirror, like, rubbing her head, I thought she was going to, like, take a wig off and she had, like, I don't know, more body parts missing or something.
Just part of her brain.
Yeah, just, honestly, I didn't know.
Why she's there.
At that point in the movie, I'm trying to figure out, how involved are you, wife? What's your...
She's Red Skull.
There you go.
She just peels her face off.
Right?
Yes, it's
She's
all
there.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
I got to pay more attention to these movies.
I don't know, how'd you miss all of this?
Didn't you see the shield in the background?
There was probably noises outside, like birds or squirrels.
You didn't see the Stan Lee cameo as one of the customers eating a person?
Yeah. He was the naked guy.
He filmed that before his death. It's a weird last one to go out on.
Boy.
I had nowhere to go with that.
No, I think we got there.
Silence.
I was still thinking about it.
I'll say what you say after sex with Kitty. I think we got there.
Crickets.
No, I was trying to think of what I actually say. And I usually just go to bed.
All right, that's too graphic for me.
Anyway,
I don't know if I want to leave that in or not, but I probably will. Because Kitty's going to listen to it and be like, what the fuck is going on in that basement?
She's like, did I just get laid?
Yeah, that's what usually has to say, what the fuck's going on in this bedroom. I'm single. So the joke's on you, I guess. Anywho, yes, she uses all the seduction techniques to make him drop his guard. When she starts dancing with him again, that's the best stuff because she's got him completely.
Oh, yeah. And she knows it. The look on her face.
Yeah, because she can, at that moment, she can kind of go anywhere, do anything. And she's like, let's just dance. And it's like, that's amazing because that's what he wants. Because you go back to the stuff with the wife. There's clearly something missing in the relationship, probably because he ate her leg.
I mean, that is a bit of a damper.
Makes it harder to dance.
So basically, the wife would be like Noah, who did not stand up. She just, like you said, Martha, full Stockholm syndrome.
Yep.
Or she did. This is just as far as she got. She wasn't after revenge. She was like, I can get myself into a situation where I have a beautiful house, tons of money. This is her con.
So she's selfish.
What happened to those kids?
I think they're going to be better off.
Who was that guy who she was ordering around when they went to the compound at the end? How did she even end up at that compound? I don't remember. The wife, I mean.
Because Molly, right?
Yeah, they had to bring Molly there, right?
Yeah.
I thought that Sebastian Stan.
And then he wasn't answering. No, he was supposed to come home and he wasn't answering his phone. He put it like in a box or whatever, put it away to ignore his wife to be with Noah because Noah was.
So the eating of the people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the wife's perspective,
I got that.
The wife's perspective is probably like someone's coming from my spot.
Yes. She's like, look, I got my thigh on the table. Dinner's ready.
Yeah.
And he's not here. What the fuck?
Do you think that the choice to have it be her leg and have his thing that really he loves is to dance be the thing that is like why he was seduced so easily?
Maybe my wife
because
can't dance.
She can't dance like that.
She doesn't have good rhythm.
No.
He should have thought that through beforehand.
Yeah.
Take her arm.
When he was feeding the breasts to Noah, that was her friend, right? That was her friend's.
No,
yeah.
Was it? I don't think they got to her yet.
Yeah. No,
said,
I thought it was Molly's because he was like, "Ooh, tastes familiar."
And then she held her chest at one point during the running through the wood scene, like she grabbed it like she was hurt.
It was Molly's
I thought he kept that meat longer than that. I thought that'd be like real.
What's the name of this movie?
It's fresh.
This is, if I'm not mistaken, it's
Sebastian Eat Flesh.
No, it's Captain America and the Cannibal.
Captain America and the Cannibal Corps. Isn't that a band? Yes.
Sure.
Captain America and the Cannibal Corps is a band?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just made it.
It is now.
It is now.
We play bottles and washboards.
Poorly.
Spoons?
Poorly. Ooh, look at you with your talent. Get out of here. You want in on the band?
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
See, we're a band now.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway.
The thing I liked in the movie a lot was when they're having their dinner, their first dinner, where she's eating a person. Mm-hmm. And then after it's over, because she has to go through with it to set up all the things she's going to be doing, she just has to say, was that me? It's a great whore line. Like, so I just ate that. Am I eating myself? Mm-hmm. I don't know. And he's like, oh, no, of course not. And I was like, I wondered too.
Totally.
Yeah.
But she's got her boobs.
That's
right?
True. Why?
Or no, was it a meatball?
It was like a meatball. It was like the first thing.
It was.
So
it was a meatball.
Could have been anything.
I don't remember what the first meal was.
Ground butt.
Ground butt?
No.
Was it? I wonder how he made his choices on what to cut and what pieces to take. Maybe it was just the orders that were coming in.
I was thinking it's just what the five guys wanted. The five guys.
Yeah.
Ooh, don't eat there.
Oh, no.
I
What
like
are their
Five
burgers
Guys.
made of?
Well, I think we know. This movie just answered it.
This is the worst thing that's happened to my eating habit since I found out In-N-Out's just a bunch of people having sex.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was delicious cheeseburgers.
It's the animal sauce.
I thought the sauce tasted a little funny, but not thing I'm not used to.
It's a bit salty.
Yeah.
A little bit different than the special sauce.
They had the pineapple in there though, because it's on the West Coast.
Well, yeah.
Well,
where pineapples grow on the West Coast.
This is dangerously close to a Ken episode.
Oh no. Well, I'm sorry. This movie.
No, that episode's going great. It's just that we get dangerously close to Ken topics.
In this movie, a man's penis was bitten off, so that's just right up Ken's alley.
She bobbited him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not here, just calling in to say "dick," and then hanging up again.
I like
That's
it.
true. So, Pete, what do you think would be the best part of the body to eat? What would be the most delicious part of the human body?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, we don't all think about this. We haven't all thought about this.
I got to imagine it's butt. Do you remember the movie
Right.
Alive? With the people who crashed in the Andes, the soccer team?
Oh, yeah.
When they started eating people, I think it was Ethan Hawke, he started with the butt. His sister's butt, weirdly, if I recall that movie correctly.
Wow.
And then they showed one of the survivors at the end talking, and he was a cannibal.
And he was 400 pounds.
Yeah, right? He didn't stop.
I don't know. I try to think like maybe your forearm, because it reminds me of chicken wing flats. Those are good.
It just
I love a
seems-
flat.
Muscly and stringy, right? Like you want, what parts of animals do we eat? Bacon?
Pork butt.
Yes, the bacon part of the pig.
Yeah, what part of
It's
the
the
bacon?
bacon
I don't know enough. You know,
It's the bacon of a human.
I worked as a butcher for a year, and I don't know any cuts of meat.
What?
And you don't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre? This all doesn't add up to me.
You're the worst butcher ever.
Well, it was only a year.
Yeah, but come on. You gotta
All right.
retain some knowledge.
He was a butcher's apprentice.
Butcher's Nicolas Cage was my master.
He had to level up before they literally taught him how the sausage was made.
Well, I went away for a month, and it was summer, and then I said I'll be back in a month, and I didn't go back, and then they kept calling me, and I pretended I wasn't home because this was before you had cell phones and things.
Sure.
I would just pretend I wasn't home.
I'm not here.
Eventually, they stopped calling.
This was, yes, before people had cell phones, but it also been when Martha was like in elementary school.
It could have been.
It was a long time ago.
Possibly.
This
When
was,
was that?
25 years ago.
Okay, so yeah.
I think that might have been my first job.
Yeah, I agree.
Then I was 25 years ago. I was 9.
Yeah.
No, how did Sebastian Stan build all of this? Like,
What do you
did he
mean?
murder all the workers who were
Practice.
building these elaborate underground cave system with doors that?
No,
The
that's
society
like that-
has money and they did stuff. They
Yeah.
probably built the whole thing. He's like their lead guy in their operation to get this system going.
Yeah,
Okay.
those people probably get paid a shit ton,
Mm-hmm.
and people
Oh.
will do anything for money. Like that driver guy who was packing the meat in the trunk.
Oh, yep. And you're right. That one little bit, that first meal, I think he said that was a $30,000 meal for which looked like maybe a couple of ounces of
I
meat.
think questions
Yeah.
like this are legitimately why it's not just a crazy guy who eats people, and it's more, I have to have a whole funding system. We have to have a whole ecological system to make this work so that we can explain why he could afford this.
Totally.
So it had to be a secret shady society of people
and
eaters.
he was a real doctor, right?
I don't know.
At some
He
point.
probably was at some point, yeah, because
Yeah.
he'd have to be skilled with
And
the.
that's how he got into
Yeah.
it. I bet it was all the money.
He said he was 18 or 19 when he started. Like I can't remember how he fell into it, but that was the age. And then he said everything made sense. So maybe he went to med school after that to learn
Yeah.
how to
Yeah.
cut people.
I bet.
Yeah, like how Jack the Ripper was, they think maybe a surgeon.
He was a time traveler, if I remember that movie correctly.
That's true. Did you ever see that movie Time After Time?
No,
It's a
I
good one.
haven't.
I think
Put it on the
Sherlock
list.
Holmes chases Jack the Ripper through time.
That's not what it
Nice.
is.
Yes, it is. Don't
no,
listen
it's
to
not.
him.
It's not
I
Sherlock
don't-
Holmes.
I can't.
It's H.G. Wells. It
Yeah.
posits that his time machine was real, and since he would have been in England the same time as Jack the Ripper, the reason they never caught him is Jack the Ripper used the time machine to get away, and he came to then modern time San Francisco.
So H.G. Wells went and found Sherlock Holmes and gave him his time machine.
Okay.
And Sherlock Holmes is in the movie, but it's a really, really fun movie, and it has a great moment where the guy that plays Jack the Ripper, who was Jack Warner, who recently passed away, he's walking around 1977 San Francisco, and he sees just like a TV with all the violence stuff on. He's just like, awesome, like
Sweet.
the world caught up to me. And I thought it was always a nice way to shit on us.
Yeah.
That
tracks.
movie has Mary Steenburgen
Oh.
and who plays the guy from
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell. Yep, Malcolm McDowell plays
That was what
H.G.
you were
Wells.
going for?
Yep, and
That
he
was
was
the only person I knew who was in it. So.
Yep, Malcolm McDowell was really good in it. He
Nice.
played it really good. So a highly recommended movie that I
Sweet.
used to watch on HBO all the time.
Time after time.
Time
Got
after
it.
time. It's got a little bit of romance, a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of horror.
Shockingly, the Cyndi Lauper song is not in the credits anywhere.
Well,
or maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't watched that movie.
Okay.
I don't think that she had recorded it yet.
I was going to say, when did it come out?
I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter. There's a time machine in this
That's
movie.
true.
What?
They
Get
could
outta
go back
here.
and add it.
She was there singing Goonies Are Good Enough, though, which I thought was very strange.
Oh. The only note I remember, by the way, from the Sebastian stand. Can't stop. Was she bite dick, him dum dum.
That's the note you found?
That's the note I had, yeah. Also,
Beautiful.
Also, Adam McKay was the PGA on this movie.
Ah.
What's a PGA?
I think
It's
it's
a professional golfer?
Yeah.
Tour?
I swear to God it said PGA. It was on at the beginning, so I was like, hey, I know that name.
So you were on the hunt for best boys?
I was on the hunt for best boys. I lost my notes, but I'll tell you this. There's something called an intimacy counselor or consultant,
Yes.
which I guess makes sense because if you're going to film sex scenes, you probably shouldn't just let people do whatever they want.
Well, there's a reason there's a counselor now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that Franco?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. It
It's
could have
probably
been
part of
anybody.
it.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? There was, I know you're going to get excited. There was a best grip or tight grip or boy grip, whatever it is that got you all
Boy
excited.
grip. Dear God.
Yeah, we found this out last time. There was a best boy and then there was a best grip, and we figured out.
No, that's not what it was. There was an electrical best boy and a grip best boy. So we had to make them fight to the death to find out who the best boy was.
The grip.
Well,
Well.
we discovered that's true because Pete said it's whoever gives the best hand jobs on set, and then I've changed my vote.
So there was one of those. But what was super exciting, there was a best electrical girl.
Oh.
There was no best boy, best electrical girl.
A girl made of electricity.
Well, her name was Maya something. God damn it, I wish I had my notes. But good work, Maya. That was awesome. I'm
Way to
very
go.
excited.
Was she
sounds
made
like-
of electricity like
She
in
could've
Gremlins
been.
2?
Could have been. Maybe she's got an electro from the
See?
Spider-Mans.
It is a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
There's just tie-ins all over the place.
Yeah, but Spider-Man's more of a Sony property. Anyway. We're not nerds. By
That's
we,
okay.
I mean me. As I look at the guy in the Wet Bandits t-shirt.
I was also reading a comic book from 1995 recently, and you know what's on the back of it from August of 95? In
Do I get to
advertising.
guess, or are you just going to
No. Go ahead. You can guess.
1995?
Yep.
Was it an ad for Night Watch?
No.
Damn.
It was Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh, that's a bad
Nice.
Took up the whole back page.
one.
Like
As
it.
Pete knows, that's actually one of my all-time favorite movies.
That's a good one.
Is it?
It's
I know
not,
this.
but it is.
Oh, it's fun.
It's everything that's you should never do, and they do all of it, and for some reason it worked for me. Like, don't get into who he is, don't get into how he has power, don't get into what he. But they're like, what if there's a cult that can control him? And Paul Rudd is there, and
This
the
is the
dumber
druid
it
one.
gets, the more I like it.
I love it.
That's the only one I've seen in a theater.
Wow, no, that's not true. We saw Halloween 2018 in the theater.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the only one I had seen in the theater at that time.
Do you remember when he killed the kid in the car after convincing his dad it's okay that he wants to be a dancer?
Nope.
It's amazing. Where he's like, Dad, it's like, I like hunting with you. I do. It's just that right now I'm kind of into the dancing. And I'm like, it's so random. And then the kid just gets his neck snapped.
Fuck dancing.
Who got her neck stabbed in fresh? A bunch. Oh, the wife with the car keys, correct?
Yeah, so she was,
Look at Pete bringing it back around.
I know, good job.
It's the first time it's ever
Segue.
happened.
Noah went back to, would she go to get her phone?
Oh, yeah, all that stuff's, all your...
Just all the
Yeah.
crap that he had, like, hidden in the wall. She went back, and then the wife came.
She went back to literally reclaim her identity.
Yes.
That's some writing tips for you, Pete.
There you go. And then Anne is the wife, tried to strangle Noah, and Noah, like, slapped her face around and then stabbed her in the neck with the car keys, and then Molly came through with a shovel.
Molly was very angry. I like that beat
No,
down.
it was
with the
great.
shovel.
Watching them just beat the shit out of people and get out of that house was
Yeah,
great.
what did she say? Girls like you are the fucking problem, or
think-
bitches like you are the fucking
That
problem.
was it.
And she's an enabler.
Yes.
And she's even worse because as we broke down her backstory, she probably just conned her way into a better life with the most abusive person she probably possibly could.
Absolutely, and she knew what was happening.
But he's Sebastian Stan.
He is so charming.
Did you hear the thing with the grapes?
I did at the beginning of
yeah.
this episode. Was that in the movie or was that like an outtake?
No, that was in the movie.
I see.
That is their meet cute. That's why I played
Yes,
it.
meet cute.
I see.
MEAT.
I see. Is that what you meant when you said it, Brian?
That's not how we spell the other meat.
Oh,
That's how you spell all meat.
I'm a writer. The hardest thing with writing is that if you spell a word incorrectly for the word you mean, it doesn't know that.
no.
So-
The hardest thing is I sprained my thumb trying to take all these goddamn notes.
The sweetest thing is a song that Bono wrote for his wife.
Good job.
Edge married one of his dancers on tour.
Wow.
So anyway, I hate cotton candy grapes.
I don't hate them. I think that
I don't.
I'm not going to sit and eat a whole pack of them or anything, a bunch of them, but they're interesting to taste.
Nah.
Because it does taste like cotton candy.
Every grape tastes the same to me.
Not those. Have you had those?
I've had those. They taste like every other grape I've ever eaten.
I like a green grape. I like them more
You like
tart.
a green grape?
I like a green grape.
Well, Pete
You like a red grape?
It's a grape.
Pete has that super long COVID that he's had since before COVID was here, so he tastes nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I taste despair and sadness.
That's right.
Most
It's
of
a
us
little
do.
ashy.
Little ash. Like from
Hey,
the
whoa. We all got Hulu.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all doing all right.
Yeah, that's right.
My Hulu's part of my Disney Plus package.
Mine too.
Another Marvel tie-in.
Yep.
Obviously,
God
part of
damn
the
Marvel.
MCU.
They own everything.
Now, do you like? It's interesting to me that Sebastian Stan's even in this movie because it is, after a time, a pure horror movie.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that he took the role, I think, because Daisy Edgar Jones is just starting out, and it's a
Yeah.
great role, and his role's obviously great too. But it's still like he's a heartthrob guy, and he immediately takes that and is like, "What if I use it for evil?" And like, I respect the shit out of it. He's also great in the movie.
Oh.
He's fantastic. Also, he was in The Covenant. That's also horror.
What's the Covenant?
But he's like a witch vampire thing,
I
right?
don't remember that. The name sounds familiar, but
Yeah.
I don't remember the movie.
He's
don't
like,
either.
is he a? I don't remember.
What year is it?
Recent? Not recent?
Maybe late 90s, early
Oh,
2000s.
see, I'm thinking like he became.
No, he wasn't Sebastian Stan
Yeah.
yet
And
at
this-
that point.
I like even after he knocked her out and she woke up after being drugged, how just still charming he was. He was
Yes.
at no point did he change. He's not, oh, I'm a psychopath now.
I think that's why she realized she could trap him.
Also, they
Because-
were, yeah.
He isn't lying all the way about what he is. He's just lying about what he does.
Oh, that was one of my notes. When she was reading the magazines, somebody had scrawled something like, if you're reading this, it means he likes you.
Yeah,
like,
Melissa or something.
But I
right?
didn't recognize the name, and I thought it was that his wife. That's why I was thinking that the wife might have helped her at the end, because I thought maybe she was the one who had tried to
No.
leave. No. Okay.
It was just, I think it was like Melissa, maybe was the name, and it was just a victim because Penny was the girl in the other room that she
There-
was talking to.
There was another insane one, though. Was perhaps that Melissa? The one who, remember, she had lost her mind and then you just didn't hear from her? 'Cause
Oh,
there were-
yeah.
It was
maybe.
Noah, Penny, and one other person
Yes,
who.
and she didn't make it, but Penny made it.
Yes, they rescued Penny at the end. So maybe that was Melissa.
Maybe.
That was what I had.
I buy him as a Steve. I don't buy him as a Brendan.
Agreed.
I don't know why that had to be the name.
No, Brendan seems like it should be his fake name.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe it is.
I mean,
I guess you could. be
No,
right.
that was on the credit
No,
card.
we know his name. His name's Sebastian. So you're right. He had a double fake identity.
I thought his name was Bucky.
Yes, Bucky Barnes. Pete and I are so old that we grew up at a time where the one joke was the only character who doesn't come back to life is Bucky Barnes, and now he's a major part of a multi-$100 million, billion-dollar franchise.
Uh,
So I guess they do.
is there anyone who's still dead?
My dad.
I can't top that one.
Why is everybody laughing?
can't come back from that.
Because it's kind of funny.
Neither can he.
If he did, we could make a movie about it.
It's true.
Ghost Dad.
There was
They
a
already did. You're right.
last podcast we talked about Gremlins, and in there I talked about, you've seen Gremlins, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
How the dad is this
What the hell
terrible.
kind of question is that?
You don't know.
You've seen Gremlins.
You don't know.
Everyone's seen Gremlins.
I don't assume things anymore. The dad is this horrible inventor.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it would be kind of cool if like you had a dad who just brought home cool stuff all the time. And then I said, or came home at all. And him and Kitty didn't hear it, and they just kept bickering about whatever they were bickering about. And I was like, I thought that was a good one.
We're tired of your trauma.
I know.
No one cares.
No place for that here.
I try to make it as delightful as possible.
Were you the class clown?
No. I was the class, keep your head down, try to get out of the school.
I like it. Yeah.
I didn't go, so I don't know.
Okay.
I had like 3 friends. This is one of them. And
He's pointing
You
to me.
stuck
Yeah.
around. Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought it was the girl behind you.
I'm pointing at the poster.
The one I got
It was
chained
Chris
up there
Pratt.
for my fresh enterprise.
Chris Pratt.
You know what's weird? No one's buying this meat. I keep putting it on the internet, and I keep kidnapping all these
You okay
people.
over there,
Don't-
honey?
Don't
Okay.
talk to them.
Well, nobody would think that you're getting people and cutting them up to feed them to people and sell them. You're feeding them to your birds.
Well,
Yeah.
crows got to eat, despite what Nick Cage says. Also, the charm works. I had a worker at Wegmans, stop me. The supermarket Wegmans. I was putting my cart away, and he's like, "Hey, man, I really like that shirt. I was like, cool. He's like, you got a whole vibe. Can I get a picture? I like your vibe. So I took a picture with him. So see, I could have taken him back. He could
is this story about?
What Wegmans was it so I can avoid it?
The one up by it's the one on Dick.
You're coming. These microphones are great. You're coming in really good from the trunk of his car on the way to his freezer.
No. See, I'm the one who catches them.
Yeah. Was he a worker?
Yeah, he was a worker, just getting carts, and just take a look at the Pete. I'm like, look at me. Just look at me. I'm like Sebastian Stan. People are going to be falling all over them. So I don't even have to have some goddamn grape line or something.
You didn't even have grapes?
I'm like, here's a cart. And he's like, oh my God.
Can I tell you something? Sebastian Stan didn't need the grape line either.
No, he didn't.
But he used it. I didn't have to. This guy would have probably given me a ride in a shopping cart if I asked him.
Yeah, he'd taken you somewhere.
Next time.
I got here today and there was no crows or birds for the first time in a while, not bothering me. But there was a chipmunk.
The squirrel.
A squirrel.
How do you not know?
I don't know. Who cares? A squirrel who just sitting next to the driveway. I pull the car up right next to him. He's just staring at me. I get out of the car. He's like as close to me as we are to each other. He's just staring at me. And I close the door and I walk away and he's just like, you got any food for me? And Pete's like, oh, hey friend. And he comes out and just hands him some food.
It's like,
why don't you just live in nature?
Because I like to be near things and, like supermarkets where people hit on me.
Obviously.
Airports. Bus stations.
Where they can get you out of the country quick when they kidnap you.
Wait a minute.
I'm pretty sure your life is the first 30 minutes of Grizzly Man.
What's the last 30 minutes? I never watched that. Is it a good life? It seems like fun, living in the woods, hanging out with bears.
He really, really connected with that bear.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They became one.
Hey, did you guys see that a grizzly bear just ate 2 hikers and their dog? And their little dog, too.
I did see that a bear attacked somebody, and then they were putting the bear down. Like, the bear is just bearing. Like, what did you...
Well,
let it be.
To be fair, he murdered these 2 people on a trail and their little dog. And then a few hours later, I guess somebody came to say, hey, what's going on? And the bear attacked them, too.
This sounds like a case for Pete's Animal Court that we established in Gremlins, where he thinks that if a dog attacks somebody, they go before a judge to decide if they're going to get put down or not.
Can I be the judge?
Ooh, I'm the judge. You got to go to a lot of animal school. How are you friends with squirrels, Martha?
Not yet.
That's the first step.
Okay.
I got one. He's got a little tear in his ear. If he comes by your house, just feed him a nut.
Did you name him?
No, I didn't name him.
I found, actually, there were peanut shells under Eric's hood.
I don't have, aside from today, I just put peanuts out, like a little handful. Yeah. I haven't been feeding any animals for...
No, his car wouldn't start. The wires were like...
Oh, something got in there and chewed it up?
And with peanuts.
All right, well... Luckily, that's not me, because I haven't been feeding animals, so I feel better now.
Oh, you weren't eating it?
No, I wasn't sure.
No, I think he's commanding the army that is disabling cars for some perverse reason.
That's
Squirrels
the crows. I'm not there with squirrels yet. See, squirrels are low-hanging fruit. They'll hang out with anyone who wants to give them anything.
True.
Now, crows, they're a discerning lot.
How about chipmunks?
I like chipmunks. They pack their little cheeks full of nuts. Kind of like Noah did with Sebastian Stan.
Oh.
God damn it, you got there before I did. Well, that's usually, isn't that, yeah. You know where it's going.
It was a pretty, dramatic scene, though, right? Like, that's one of those scenes in horror that's going to stick with you. At least.
Yeah.
Can I be honest? I'm watching that scene, and I'm like, I know she's seducing him. I know what's going to happen, but I'm also like, ooh, a blowjob. And then, I was like, I'd have fallen for it, too. Let's be honest here.
Okay, so see, it gets everybody. Sebastian Stan would have gotten me with his grapes.
I would have gotten by Noah, and there's probably a deer somewhere that he's like, hey, let me feed you. And we all would have been screwed.
Some guy in a parking lot's going to put me on a bus.
We at least got fooled by, gorgeous people that are purposely trying to seduce us. You just were like, oh, hey, man, let me get in your selfie.
What?
It's the easiest. Talk about low-hanging fruit.
He might have been good. Ooh, low-hanging fruit. I see. I'm reaching down low in a provocative manner.
I wish, the only thing I wish right now is that we could make Kool-Aid Man bust through the wall, because it'd be the perfect ending. Hold for edit.
All right.
There you go.
So was there anything else? I feel like I had one more thing to say about this movie, but I can't remember what it is because I don't have any notes.
Is it that you liked the movie?
After talking with you guys, it really wasn't that bad.
Who could have seen that coming?
It was 2 hours long, which is too much time. I
just want this on the record. An hour and 14 minutes is too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't an hour and 14 minutes.
It was. I Googled it.
I'm filing that away for... No, an hour. No. 114 minutes. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I did it wrong, too.
I would have been all over this movie. What could we have cut out?
Well, you can cut out...
First half hour.
We cut out a penis. We cut out a butt.
boobs.
Cut out a leg. Cut out a
boobs,
boobs.
Cut out a leg.
Couple
there was
legs.
a lot. I like this big freezer full of parts.
It would be really funny if this movie was poorly edited, since it's about somebody who's really good at making cuts.
Clever. Look at you with your cleverness.
That's right.
Irony.
Did any of the processing of the bodies bother you guys?
No.
No, me neither. Wow, we're a bunch of jaded assholes.
Nothing bothers me anymore.
Do you taste the despair too?
Yeah.
You're lying about that cotton candy grape, aren't you? Despair.
Oh, no, I thought that's what they tasted like.
I'm gonna agree. That is what they taste like. I've had enough of that, though. I don't need more. I'm not gonna pay $18 for it at the grocery store.
A grape? How much could a single grape cost?
I don't know.
It's a banana, Michael.
$10.
Hey, our references are in the 2000s.
All right,
We're going to
moving
make
on
it
up.
home one day.
See, I help you with that.
It's like quantum leap in here. We got to reference our way back to the present.
All right, so this is getting a Classic Pete pretty good.
Classic Pete, pretty good.
Classic Pete review. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I like it.
Kitty asked me a question too, like how many bitten off dicks did I give it or something? I can't remember what she
Ooh.
said. I didn't give it anything.
4.5 out of 5 dicks.
Ooh. Attached or detached?
Detached.
I remember there was a band named Detachable Penis.
All right.
Captain America and the Detachable Penis.
There we go.
Well, that would have to be a Winter Soldier with his arm.
That's right.
Yeah.
They ate his arm. They ate his arm. How did we miss this?
Martha, you are the queen of knowing these films. I see why you picked this one.
Did everybody see you talked about the mid-credit scene that I somehow missed, because I saw the post-credit scene where Samuel L. Jackson shows up.
Trying to recruit him.
Yeah.
Trying to recruit Noah.
To the
Yeah.
Cannibals
And he's
Initiative.
dead. So he's just like poking him with a stick.
Hey.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. We need you.
And then Suri came in and fixed him because she's really good at stuff like that.
Oh,
Fixed
she
him
is.
again. Mm-hmm. So it was one of Scare Valley's top 10 movies of 2022. And it might have even been top 5. I should have looked that up before. I think it was top 5. I think it was maybe nominated for top 5. And Noah was the best final girl because she used her wits
And her sexual prowess.
and then turned the tables on
And
her.
her strong teeth.
And then also,
Go to the
viciously
dentist.
destroyed him, which I enjoyed.
Now, the first time she ate meat, she threw it all up because, gross. She ate a lot more people and didn't puke anymore. Do you think she has a taste for the long pig now?
I think that's the sequel coming.
Yeah.
Fresher.
I'd probably watch that movie.
I would too. No Sebastian Stan, though.
Flashbacks.
Flashback, and he's a ghost.
If they can do it in Scream.
What's
they
weird
can
is-
do it in
I
this.
was just going to say.
What's weird is just like the MCU, he's going to be recast by Don Cheadle.
Oh, boy.
All right. Is anyone else? I like Fresh. I'm going to say
Any
it was
final thoughts on Fresh, anybody?
too long, but, not too shabby.
Just like Sebastian.
Too long,
Stick.
but not too shabby. That's good.
Well, not anymore.
Well,
Okay.
Too long, but thankfully cut short.
Just like Sebastian Stick.
Was she a rabbi?
silly rabbi, dicks are for, I don't have a finish.
Cannibals.
Cannibals.
Dicks are for cannibals.
Yes, he's the one who made her like the taste of meat, so this is his own fault.
It is.
Hoisted by his own Picard.
No, that was the Deanna Troi he was hosted by.
I'm the Star Trek guy. All right.
boy.
Martha, you want to plug Stars and Pavement?
Yeah, starsandpavement.com, Facebook, Instagram. Find me there.
You? You have an online presence?
I do.
I guess we could trust you.
I'm not a cannibal.
That is the weirdest part of the movie, is that I have to trust someone because they have an online presence. That is the opposite of what I
Well,
do.
2023, get
We're
with
old.
it.
That is 100% what I ended up with. Like, oh man, I am way out of touch with what the kids are doing these days.
Just biting dicks off.
Biting dicks off.
Babies
man.
having babies.
Fight the patriarchy.
That's right.
One dick at a time.
Pete, as part of the patriarchy, how do you feel about that? I feel pretty good about it, honestly.
I never got nothing out of being a patriarchy.
Me neither. It's mostly for middle-aged white guys like us, straight middle-aged white guys. It's mostly just failing to the middle. But you don't really have to worry because there's like a net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to fall much farther.
No, I'm not. It's just, there's advantages.
I feel like it's time. Bunch of dickless white guys wandering around. Let the women run things.
Agreed.
Oh, I would love it.
Less
Doing
work for me.
things is hard. It's exhausting.
That's what she said. You can stare at me all you want.
Fuck.
Pete.
This is what he does now.
Yes. All right. Go to scarevalue.com. We didn't plug it the entire time. We did that episode about we previewed all the movies coming out for spooky season, and I said on it repeatedly. You can find that review on the site. You can find that review on the site. Never named the site one time.
Hulu.com.
Yes, Huluween ongoing now. Huluween. We all have Hulu.
Me too.
This podcast is sponsored by Hulu with no money coming our way. Huluween appendage out this week.
Was it bitten off?
No, well, kind of. No,
prequel.
No One Will Save You came out last week or 2 weeks ago.
I haven't watched that yet.
And they have this October, they have Cobweb coming, which I thought was really fun, and nobody saw it. And Slaughterhouse, which I thought was really fun. Mm-hmm. And a few other movies. And I looked it up. They have a ton of stuff right now. It might be the best place to go for Halloween spooky season stuff right now.
Cobweb's on the list. It looks like Human Coraline to me. Or
I never saw Coraline.
Oh, that's a good movie. It's fun.
I read the book back in the day, but I don't think I ever saw the movie. Oh, wait, I did.
Go face the corner, nerd.
I think John Hodgman is in it, and he's the father, the other father, and I believe he sings a fun song.
Yeah.
That is what I remember from the movie Coraline.
You never? Oh, yeah, you did.
I think I did.
There's a whole episode on it. Yes, it is. Oh. It's like was it stop motion?
Yeah, Neil Gaiman wrote the book. Sandman.
I do like Neil Gaiman, but he's someone I like theoretically because I've never read one word he's written. But people tell me Sandman's good.
All right.
Well, that was fresh, everybody.
Yes. We're going to be back next week with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Pete has his notes. He's really going to do it.
I got lots of notes on that movie.
We will see you in
September.
7 days.
Bye.
7 days.
Don't answer.
Remember that movie? If you didn't answer the phone, they'd still get you, I think, right?
I don't know.
7 Days and 7 Nights with Harrison Ford?
And the late Anne Heche.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah!